Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a fantastic day. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. There's a link in the description below. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. A lot of popular news today. You're going to notice very quickly the pattern. Yeah, it's one that we've gone over before, probably at least 300 times at this point. The expectations continue to rise about who and what and where people are going to be buying Bitcoin, how it's going to happen. The supply continues to dwindle. And at this point, it seems like there's not really a lot that we can actually do about it, simply because everyone seems to be on board, at least some publicly, actually buying Bitcoin. We've gone over before that there tends to be a slight misconception from a lot of people over the last few years. We will hear about a lot of different companies and organizations and countries buying Bitcoin, but people often believe that that's it, like no one else is interacting with any of this. But of course, that's also false. A lot of people are buying Bitcoin, a lot of companies and corporations and other countries. Yeah, you get the idea. This was very, 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 very popular news. Bhutan has a new region. And apparently their newest region is adding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Binance coin to their reserves. For those of you who don't know, Bhutan is a country who a number of years ago announced that they were also looking at Bitcoin. I believe that they came after El Salvador, and they announced that they were also going to be buying up Bitcoin as well. They then announced that they were going to be mining Bitcoin with their excess energy that they had within the region. This is the government. This isn't like, random people. This is the government doing this. And now their latest announcement is that they're also going to be adding Ethereum and Binance coin to their reserves as part of their brand new economic strategy. Bhutan's new special administrative region called Gelephu Mindfulness City, why not, plans to add Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Binance to their strategic reserves, making it one of the first regions to officially include digital assets in its financial strategy. A lot of countries have similar things. There's like a special region that gets created where basically it's like a sandbox, if you will. This was a popular idea a number of years ago. It's basically an area within the country where laws and rules are different, so things can actually happen so that the government can say, A, that it's happening, but that it's not really affecting the other administrative regions at the same exact time. So for an idea, it would kind of be like saying we've set up Manhattan as a special region where these things financially can take place to see if it actually works out, but the other places in New York City currently are not affected by it, if that makes any sense. El Salvador had one, and I think they still have it. It's meant to be like their Bitcoin city or whatever they're building by the sea. And I think Dubai also had like a sandbox kind of area as well. Most places have had this for a while to kind of test and see if it's actually going to work out for them. In a press release on the 8th of January, GMC said the decision to include cryptocurrencies aims to enhance the SAR's economic resilience. Adding further, the move is an evolution of the jurisdiction's involvement in Bitcoin mining. And here's the actual tweet for it right here. I don't not know why this was so popular. We used to get a lot of it's pretty, very pretty. We used to get a lot of Bhutan news years ago when they first announced getting into crypto. I think the last we heard about them was that they were that they were like upping their mining and stuff like that, the things that they were doing and what have you. to accumulate more Bitcoin. I don't know exactly how much they have, but sure. So now it looks like they're also going to be accumulating Ether and Binance Coin as well. I found the actual thing on their website for the for the new city. And they state that they're looking at other coins, and they would mainly be focusing on coins that have a, where is it? It said higher market cap. I should have marked it somewhere. It's somewhere in there, but they basically say that they're also looking at other coins that have a very high market cap, have a huge amount of liquidity to also add to their reserves as well. So this seems to be the year that I was talking about multiple years ago, as far as which coins are going to be like at the front of the line. I hope really, realistically, that this is the year where like a large portion of the market just kind of disappears. We do not need 15,000 coins in this market, because 99% of them aren't actually in use. Just people are trading them, speculating with them in some sort of way. So I've predicted, I do not know if this is going to come true, but realistically, we're probably looking at around 10 to 15 different coins that are probably going to make it, that have some level of real world usage. It's Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. Binance Coin is very popular amongst institutions, for those of you who don't know that, and has been for a number of years. The other coins that I'm going to throw in there for as far as like going to make it is the other list of coins that are potentially going to be tax-free within the United States. I think a lot of money would slide into those coins rather quickly, and institutions would also begin to buy them up as well. It's XRP, Cardano, Algorand, and HBAR, just to give you an actual list of the coins currently that I think have a very good chance of actually making it, because you can't beat tax-free. And when everyone else realizes like what's actually happening, they'll begin to throw their money into them as well, and then also receive the tax benefits. So yeah, Bhutan is back in the news. This was very, very popular. It's not that it shouldn't be in some sort of way. It's just more of a, we never really hear about them. So cool. Let's see if there are other places around the world who also begin to announce that they're also accumulating different coins. We normally do not hear about Binance Coin in this way, but Binance Coin, is it a halving? Binance Coin also has something similar to a halving. Oh, no, sorry. It's a coin burn. They're burning coins every time the transactions happen, like cumulatively. And then eventually the coin is only supposed to have 100 million coins at the end of all of it. Potentially even more if they decide to continue the burn. Anyway, that's the Bhutan news. And yeah, let's move on. Also all right, we get it. Like, we get it. We get it. Microstrategy, the firm led by Michael Saylor, has announced another purchase of Bitcoin. We always hear that they did it, not when it actually happens. On the 6th of January, Saylor announced that the company had purchased an additional 1,000 Bitcoin for approximately $101 million US, with an average acquisition price of $94,000 per coin. The purchase brings MicroStrategy's total Bitcoin holdings to 447,000 US dollars. Bitcoin, see, also made the mistake. 447,470 BTC, averaged and acquired at an aggregate price of $27 billion, with an average price per Bitcoin of $62,000 per coin. I'm sure they are angry every day that they weren't buying Bitcoin when it was at $1, when it was at $5,000 or 10 or 20,000. I mean, it's not that 62,000 is a terrible average number, but knowing what we know now, I'm certain MicroStrategy, like the whole group, is like angry that they didn't get in a lot earlier. They're almost near 500,000 coins. We currently know that they're trying to raise 42 billion to buy Bitcoin this year and next year. They recently announced as well that they're trying to raise another $2 billion currently to buy up more Bitcoin. And what's the other thing? I don't remember. But MicroStrategy is kind of in the news every single day, if not every other day now. And it's always kind of the same. As far as we've seen, Michael Saylor isn't saying as many colorful words as he was before when he was shamed last year, for those of you who weren't here, stating that Bitcoin was boring. And also don't forget, because people have, when Michael Saylor said that he thinks that we should trust banks with our Bitcoin. You can find it. This happened, I believe, last summer. He said Bitcoin's really boring. He wants Bitcoin to do something else. Like he wants now we know he means staking. But he was also like, yeah, banks aren't bad. Like banks are pretty cool. Like people should trust the banks and give their Bitcoin to them. And everybody was like, what? And then the next day, he revealed that MicroStrategy is trying to become their own bank. And it was like, you want us to give you our, really, you can find that, it sounds like I'm talking nonsense, but he said all of this. He was like, no, what I meant was, this is the day after, the third day. He's like, no, I was saying that banks are companies too. So if you decide to custody your coins, you don't have to use Coinbase or Binance. You can also use a bank. And it was like, okay. So yeah, that's the MicroStrategy news. Sure, why not? It's a bit exhausting at this point because their buying is the word's not weird, but it seems so excessively hasty and dramatic that it's just kind of weird now. I don't know how to really put it otherwise. Still hoping and wishing and praying that more normal people buy up Bitcoin so that when Bitcoin goes to $1 million that they can also profit from it. But, that's not really how logic works. That's the MicroStrategy news. And yeah, let's move on. Are you noticing the pattern yet? Also in the news, a Canadian firm called Matador Technologies. Oh, I have to sneeze. Ooh, go away. Sorry. I could feel it tickling my nose. Matador Technologies announced a major shift in their capital preservation strategy this week after their board of directors announced unanimously the approval of adding Bitcoin and US dollar denominated assets to their corporate treasury. We have another company now, Matador, who has joined the race, at least announcing it publicly, that they're going to be acquiring Bitcoin as well as part of their reserve, as part of their treasury. We were getting these, I want to say once a week, but it's kind of picking up again as far as companies who are publicly, and I need to say publicly, actually announcing this. I read an article discussing the amount of companies in countries who are actually buying tons of Bitcoin. And it's far larger than the public is being led on to all of this news. And it's mainly because every time you announce something, someone else also mimics you. You may not realize it. You may be a company in Canada, in El Salvador, in somewhere who says, hey, we're going to be putting $10 million into Bitcoin. There's another company somewhere who goes, we need to do the exact same thing. And the problem is that when you announce it, everyone else mimics you and they raise the price of the actual asset. So other companies and countries are being very hush-hush about this because they're trying not to rock the boat and move prices up really quickly again because of how many of them are actually buying Bitcoin. The goal behind this decision is to mitigate risks associated with the company's reliance on Canadian dollar denominated assets, which marks a pivotal move towards diversifying their reserves. This is kind of common everywhere now. Nearly every company who's getting into Bitcoin is announcing that they're kind of afraid of inflation. They don't want to deal with it. They've seen the value of some of their assets probably rise, but not as much as they wanted them to rise. And also, there's a lot of fear as we've been going over, there's a lot of fear that this year and kind of continuing forever, that inflation is going to once again get out of control and there will be no actual way to reel it back in, citing concerns over Canada's dependence on oil and rising national debt. Matador highlighted the potential devaluation and loss of purchasing power of the Canadian dollar as key motivators. As part of its strategy, the company will make an initial $4.5 million allocation into Bitcoin. It says in December 2024, or they did? The company made, I assume, in December 2024. It will also consider further acquisitions through measured buying programs. The firm also plans to transition the majority of its cash, the majority of their cash from Canadian dollars to US dollars. All right, maybe they're not the smartest bulb in the box because the US dollar is about to have a lot of issues. This was also popular news. Another company has announced purchasing Bitcoin. We are probably going to hear about them very soon. It's like a circulating, geez Louise. It's like a circulating, there we go, rotation of like 25 companies that we keep hearing about over and over. Microstrategy is just winning that race. It's just really like, geez Louise, guys, if you could let everyone else buy some, that would be absolutely perfect. But we all know what's going on. That's the Matador. It's buying Bitcoin news. And yeah, let's move on. Pretty sure you know what this news story is going to be about as well. If you don't, I don't really know what to tell you. Cango Inc., Cango, a China-based auto trading platform, has announced that they have boosted their Bitcoin mining operations, amassing a total of 933, that's a lot of Bitcoin, 933.8 BTC as of the end of December 2024. Another December thing. That's a little odd. One, for those of you who missed it, and I don't know how, crypto mining is not banned in China. It never was. You just need proper clearance and paperwork from the government. We had news a month ago that I believe the number is 55. 55% of Bitcoin mining, 55% of it is still happening within China. So that's definitely something. And we're beginning to hear about a number of companies. I believe this is the second or third company within China who is announcing that they're also like accumulating Bitcoin in this way as well. Never forget, when these people mine Bitcoin, it's for them. There's a really weird misconception that if someone over the course of multiple months, multiple companies have mined 15,000 Bitcoin, that there's 15,000 new Bitcoin on crypto exchanges. No, that doesn't remotely make sense. They're mining it for themselves, so they actually keep it. This accumulation, worth approximately $91 million, underscores the company's increasing involvement in the cryptocurrency space. A lot of people were confused as to the other Chinese companies who are announcing that they're accumulating and mining Bitcoin. And once again, it's because it's not banned. There was a day where we found out, I forgot what the number was, but a huge portion of Bitcoin trading and buying one day was also coming from China. People were like, that can't be. I heard propaganda years ago. It has to be banned. And guess what? It wasn't. Same exact thing like we heard. This was also recently. We heard that what was it? It was in South Korea. Something about the trading volume in one day had surpassed everywhere else for Bitcoin. And also subsequently, we also had news that one day XRP also did, better than every other coin in South Korea as well. In its latest production update, Cango reported notable growth in its mining activities. During December, the company mined 569.9 BTC, marking a sharp 56% increase compared to 363. Produced in November, this uptick demonstrates the company's efforts to expand its mining capabilities effectively. If you've noticed, the trend basically is that everyone's buying Bitcoin. We haven't had a day like this in a while, where like every single bit of news is just about Bitcoin buying. We may hear once again every now and again, but yeah, people are definitely picking up, because at the time of me making this video, as I've said many other times, the expectation is that the US is going to be doing the exact same thing. We know, at least now, that nearly half of all the states within the this is real news. Nearly half of all the states within the United States are creating a Bitcoin strategic reserve bill that they're planning on introducing in July, if you don't remember, from Dennis Porter from the Satoshi Action Fund, who's been working with government officials to like draft these actual bills. So once again, if we get the news that that's happening, I assume these other companies and these institutions who have know-how and have people in the industry and who are talking, I'm sure they're like, no, like we have to do as much as we possibly can right now to accumulate as much Bitcoin as humanly possible. That's the Kango Inc. news. And yeah, let's move on. Also in the news, in a press release, another December. What the heck is going on? At the end of December, Metaplanet announced it has leveraged a debt instrument to buy more Bitcoin. It disclosed raising $32 million through a bond offering to expand its holdings of Bitcoin. Per the announcement, the latest offering is their fifth ordinary bond issuance. The Japanese firm noted that it offered the financial investment to Evo Funds, who indicated interest following an announcement that it intends to raise another $32 million in its just concluded fourth ordinary bond issuance. For those of you who do not know, Metaplanet became very popular about a year ago. It hasn't been like years. I think it was just a year ago that they did not care for the devaluation of the Japanese yen. If you haven't been paying attention, a lot of people have been commenting about the slow but painful degradation of the Japanese economy in a multitude of ways. I mean, really, they don't have a lot of new people moving there. A lot of people are leaving the country. A lot of people aren't reproducing. They have a rapidly aging population. It's like bad. So in an effort to boost the economy further after Coco Roro, because the country was also closed for a very long time, they decided to devalue their currency. This is what many other countries do. It's what happens when you print money. You devalue the currency to make it more attractive for foreign interest and foreign money to actually go to your borders. And it worked. It has been working as far as like new money is flowing into the country. But the problem is that this is only benefiting the government or taxes or people who run businesses. Everyone else who works, their yen isn't going as far as it was 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So Metaplanet announced that they didn't care for what was happening and that they were going to start investing in Bitcoin as a way to get around this pesky thing that we call inflation. The weirdest part is that in the very beginning, Metaplanet began by investing like 1 million into Bitcoin, 3 million into Bitcoin, that kind of thing every now and again. But now their purchases have become a lot more hefty. $32 million, and it's because they're basically following in the same exact footsteps as MicroStrategy, who issues debt against the company, and the money that they get from that debt they use to then buy more Bitcoin. It is an extremely risky thing to do. I feel like I need to say this because I felt someone's ears perk up. A, do not take out debt. It's not for you and you don't want it. You don't want to have to repay it. And B, most certainly do not take out debt to put into crypto. I don't know who needed to hear that, but I heard that a lot of people have been doing that. It is very risky because no one knows where this market is going to go. No one. We have expectations. We have news, but no one knows where any of this is actually going to lead. I told you, I had a friend who was thinking about taking around like 5,000 in debt to put into crypto. And I was like, don't do it. He was like, no, the market's doing like extremely well. Like I need to hop in. I saw him about a week later. He told me that he was thinking about taking out like 50,000 in debt to put into the market. And I was like, don't do it. You're going to regret it. Do you know when this was? This was the end of 2021. This was, I think, around September or October. It was because over the course of the year after the halving, he saw that the market was doing really well. So he was like, if I throw money into it now, I'll make it back 7 times. It'll be perfectly fine. Told him not to do it. He was I guess maybe a bit annoyed. I don't know. I feel like people are usually annoyed with things that I say. Then about 2 months later, the market began to drag itself down, as it normally does at the end of a dramatic bull run. And he was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And I was like, no, thank you for not ruining your life, because $50,000 is like actually completely insane. So yeah, that's the Metaplanet news. Everyone's buying up huge amounts of Bitcoin. It seems almost at this point never ending. But I think that's just where we currently are in life and in the space. I think I don't know how to really say, well, I actually know how to say it. This year is going to be really difficult for a lot of people who don't have assets. We've gone over that before, and I just want to make sure that you really keep that at the forefront of your cranium as we begin to move forward. I really hope you're all saving money, stashing something on the side. You have a savings account. Hope you've been like really selling stuff in your house that you don't need, that you could put into a savings account, that you could have somewhere, because the expectations for 2026, if you haven't noticed, the world's economy is like not doing great. This is the portion of this year is expected to do like really well for markets. This is the news that we've been getting, at least, or the idea. But the next couple of years are going to be kind of rough because of the devaluations of currencies, because of debt levels rising to levels that we will never, ever see paid back. And it's going to get a bit rough. So yeah, that's the Metaplanet news. I told you there was going to be a trend of what you would see in this video. It's basically that everyone's like rushing to buy Bitcoin. It's very weird to see that like Bitcoin is like being used as the answer for everything that's going on. We talked about it for years, like, you know, Bitcoin's the answer, Bitcoin's the answer. But to see like multiple things a day talking about it, like that they're actually like putting their chips on Bitcoin, being like, no, this is the thing that we need. It's fascinating is the word that I'm going to use there. I think that's going to do it for this video. I do sincerely hope that you've all enjoyed. I hope you all are having a great day. Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.